something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters, which, as you can see, is a part of this double feature. So, alright, here we go. Ghostbusters is a 1984 film that was produced and directed by Ivan Reitman. And Ghostbusters, this movie has to be one of the most requested movies that people want me to review. And when I stopped and thought, like, wow, yeah, I haven't reviewed Ghostbusters yet, have I? Wow. Well, the plot, which I'm sure most people, if not everybody, knows the plot of Ghostbusters, is we meet these three guys, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis, who they work at this college university, and what they do on their spare time, because they're scientists, is they go out and hunt ghosts. Now, one day the university realizes, holy crap, we've been paying these guys, and they're doing what? You're fired. They fire them. So what they do now is they go off and start their own business called the Ghostbusters, where people hire them to go and capture and bust ghosts. Until Sigourney Weaver's character finds out that there's this gatekeeper and keymaster demons living in her refrigerator who not only want to possess her, but they want to take over the world. So of course the Ghostbusters have to come in and save the day. Now, do I need to say what I think of Ghostbusters? I love this movie. I do. And what can I say about it that's different than what anyone else has said about it? That it's a classic? You've heard that before. That it's funny? You've heard that before too. That I've grown up to this movie? All of that is true, but it's cliched. You've heard it before. I want to stop and talk about each of these characters, because you have Dan Aykroyd as Ray, who I like just because he's Dan Aykroyd. And let me stop and mention the fact that Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis wrote this movie. And that's something that I think needs to be commended and respected, because you don't really have too many people nowadays who not only star in their comedies but write them. You have a couple people, but these guys are responsible for some of the funniest comedies from the 80s and 90s. And when you look back at how greatly written this movie is, not only being funny, I have to applaud that. Harold Ramis as Egon, I love the way he plays the character, how he's so straightforward, he's so blunt, he knows all of these weird and random knowledge, but he says it, like it's a matter of fact. And then you have my favorite character in the film, Bill Murray. He's awesome. He oozes charisma and just coolness, not just because he's a ladies' man and he knows what he's doing. When he goes to investigate Sigourney Weaver's house and see her problem, and it's almost like he doesn't care, really, about her situation. He's just trying to see what's doing, hook up with her, right? And even when she's saying, yeah, it was in my fridge, why don't you check my fridge? And he's like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. Then you have Ernie Hudson, who comes in and gets hired to be with them. And for the longest time, I always wondered, why do they bring Ernie Hudson in as one of them? Like, did they need another person in the group just as far as to go out and do these assignments? But either way, I'm glad that he's here. At first, it might seem like he is just there just to be there, but especially towards the end, he gets a lot of funny moments himself, and he does feel like he's a part of the group. And Sigourney Weaver, I want to mention, because not only was she pretty cute back in the day, in her younger days, but the moment when she gets possessed by this demon, she is even hotter. Like, wow. It's weird for me to see Sigourney Weaver in this light, because you are so used to her, at least I am, as Ripley, as this badass chick. So to see her in a more feminine role, in a hotter role. But what about Rick Moranis? Rick Moranis is this geeky, nerdy neighbor of Sigourney Weaver, and he's clearly in love with her, and he's trying to get her to hang out with him and stuff. She's not interested. The moments with him probably made me laugh the most. Every single time he's on screen, I'm sitting there and I'm laughing and I'm enjoying everything that comes out of his mouth. Another thing I want to mention is the ghosts. I like a lot of the ghosts. I like how they all have their own unique look, their own qualities to them. My favorite might be the green slime monster, for obvious reasons. But also, the effects, I think, still hold up for the most part. There's a lot of scenes where they either use practical effects, or when you see the ghosts, because they can be see-through, the effects that they used for them still work, still hold up. Now there are some moments like when the demons first come in to go after Sigourney Weaver or Rick Moranis especially, like the one that's chasing him in the hallways and the streets. That effect, the stop motion stuff with that, was pretty glaring. That doesn't hold up quite as well. But you forgive it because the end of the film with the big spectacle and the whole building turning into that kingdom of sorts, and the matte paintings going on with how purple the sky is and stuff, all that looked great. The explosions and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Need I say more? That image of the Marshmallow Man walking through the city, the streets, like Godzilla destroying things, is hilarious. I can't go without mentioning the Ghostbusters song by Ray Parker Jr. It's one of those songs that when you hear it, you instantly think of the Ghostbusters. And it's such a catchy tune that I love listening to it. So guys, there's not much more I have to say about the Ghostbusters. It's a classic. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. I love this movie. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Ghostbusters, because I'm pretty sure you've seen it too. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!